Tonight, a gunman opens fire at a Butte County school, leaving 2 kindergartners in critical condition.
I looked back and I saw a shadow with a gun, so I told most people to run even faster.
Police saying the gunman then took his own life.
This is horribly tragic. I mean, it is hard to come up with the words.
Tonight, investigators continue to search for answers as a community remains in shock.
To have to go through something like this is just unconscionable. Can't even imagine it.
Well, tonight investigators say they believe they know who the shooter was, but they're still trying to figure out why he opened fire at that school today. Good evening. Thanks for being with us at 11. I'm Gulston Dart.
And I'm Edie Lambert. Tonight, both of those young victims are in extremely critical condition. The first calls from Feather River Adventist School in the Oroville area were just after 1 this afternoon. Deputies and other agencies responded. They found 2 boys, kindergartners, just 5 and 6 years old, had been shot. They also found the shooter's body on school grounds.
Once the scene was secured, including locating the handgun and making sure that there were no other suspects there on campus, they were able to take the students over to the gym, and from there they bused the kids to the Oroville Church of the Nazarene to finally meet up with their families.
This community has endured so much over the last few years. It's hard to believe that we're back here again, but I can assure you that we're going to do everything we possibly can to figure out why this individual did the things that he did.
We have team coverage of this shooting and the impact on the community. We begin with KCRA 3's Peyton Headley. She is at the scene with what investigators are saying tonight. And Peyton, I know they're still out there.
Well, detectives actually just left within the past 2 or 3 minutes, actually, but they did say they will be back tomorrow. But this also means that Cox Lane is now back open for the first time since those 911 calls came in this afternoon. So we are getting our first look at the school up this close at this point tonight. So we know that the FBI is involved in this investigation, and right now their focus is reconstructing the gunman's activities over the course of today and the past, to try and understand why he chose to shoot at children at this school. The 911 calls began coming in at 1:08 p.m. about a gunman on campus at the Feather River Adventist School.
The dispatch of the California Highway Patrol were advised that there was an active shooter on the campus.
By 1:10, California Highway Patrol was on the scene.
That officer immediately went on to campus.
Campus staff and students directed the officer to the shooter.
That subject was deceased and appears to have a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
By 1:14, Butte County Sheriff's deputies arrived. They began rendering aid to 2 kindergarten boys, ages 5 and 6, who had been shot.
Those 2 children were transported to local hospitals. They are currently in extremely critical condition.
The children were taken to area hospitals as law enforcement secured the campus and brought the remaining students to an off-campus reunification center. Then they began their investigation. Sheriff Corey Honey says they learned the shooter had been dropped off by an Uber driver. They say he was at the school to meet with the principal about potentially enrolling a student.
I'm told that meeting was cordial. There wasn't anything about the meeting that gave rise to concerns by the administrator.
Deputies are still trying to figure out if that meeting has truth to it or if it was just a ruse to get onto the campus. Shortly after the meeting is when deputies say the shooting happened. Deputies believe this was a targeted attack on the school due to its affiliation with the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Now, whether or not this is a hate crime or whether or not it's part of some larger scheme, at this point I don't have enough information to provide an answer to that.
And I asked the sheriff about whether or not there's been a history of attacks on members of this church in the recent past. He said he wasn't aware of any, but they did put out a warning to surrounding schools and surrounding areas of the same affiliation to make sure that they were protective. They did say that they believe this was an isolated incident. Live in Butte County, Peyton Headley, KCRA 3 News.
Yeah, we don't normally hear of that church being targeted in this region, so very unusual. Peyton, thank you.
Well, we have more now. After the shooting, parents reunited with their children at the Oroville Church of the Nazarene.
KCRA 3's Carolina Estrada joins us from Oroville. She was at the church earlier tonight and spoke with some of those students. What did they tell you, Carolina?
Yeah, Edie, I spoke to students from kindergarten all the way to 7th grade, and off camera they shared with us those moments when they realized they were in danger. Some of them were still at the playground. Others were already heading back into their classrooms when they say they heard those gunshots. And it was just heartbreaking to see these kids just trying to process this tragedy. But we also witnessed this small, tight-knit community come together.
It was heartache. You know, are you going to see your child?
We were going off of little to no information, so we were just kind of
panicking.
left, you know, hoping it wasn't our kid.
An emotional scene at the Oroville Church of the Nazarene as parents reunited with their children after a shooting at the Feather River Adventist School in Butte County.
We were running to the gym. I looked back and I saw a shadow with a gun, so I told most people to run even faster.
6th grader Jocelyn Orlando says she and other students hid in the school gym after a shooter opened fire during recess.
My face had a cold expression, but inside I was breaking down.
The school has 35 students enrolled from kindergarten to 8th grade.
That is a private school in its entirety. The presumption is that it's the safest place a parent could send their child.
With prayers and hugs, this small-knit community comforted each other.
We're thankful and blessed that our family's safe, but you hurt for the family that's not right now. We don't know the outcome of that, so praying for those family members.
Trying to make sense of what they called a senseless act.
You never know what's going to happen, and you never expect it to happen in your family or your community or anything, especially at a small little tiny school. And why? Of course, everybody wants to know why.
And as the investigation continues, officials say the school will remain closed at least until next week. Live in Oroville, Carolina Estrada, KCRA 3 News.
Carolina, thank you. And tonight, a witness is exclusively sharing video that was shot just minutes after officers and deputies arrived at Feather River Adventist School.
Yeah, the video shows what appears to be police securing the shooter's body. KCRA 3's Andres Valle is live in our newsroom right now with the latest. So you spoke to this man, and what did he tell you?
Well, he told me he's stunned. That is what that's what Lee Stevens described to me about the video he captured today. He was driving home from work when he passed by the school when law enforcement arrived on scene, unaware until hours later that what he captured on video of the shooter minutes after the shooting.
It was something I've never seen in my life, and I really hope I don't ever see it again.
Lee W. Stevens sharing video he captured minutes after law enforcement arrived at Feather River Adventist School.
Lined up. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Following a shooting that left 2 kindergarten students in critical condition.
I mean, why? Why does this happen in this country? We're supposed to be the greatest country in the world, and we can't figure this out.
7 minutes after the first officer arrived, Stevens drove by the school on Highway 70. Unaware of what just happened, he started recording video on his cell phone.
Look, I didn't realize what I stepped into until I got home. I did not realize what I was watching because I was just filming.
His video shows what appears to be the shooter on the ground as deputies surround him.
How do you do that to 5- and 6-year-old kids?
And as Stevens tries to process what happened, he has this message to loved ones of the victims.
My prayers are with you, and I pray your children are going to be fine, because that's all that matters.
Now, Stevens told me he'll be reaching out to police tomorrow to see if there's any information that he can provide that might help them in this investigation. Live in the newsroom, Andres Valle, KCRA 3 News.
Yeah, he, just like so many other people, trying to process exactly what happened out there today. Thanks for that, Andres.
Assemblymember James Gallagher, who represents Butte County, released this statement saying, "My heart is breaking for everyone impacted by this tragedy. We will never understand why or how someone could do a thing like this. I am grateful for the bravery of the law enforcement, fire, and medical personnel who responded to this attack to stop the shooter and rescue the victims. As a community, we'll all be hugging our loved ones closer today as we pray for the victims and try to make sense of something so senseless."
And Governor Gavin Newsom weighing in on the shooting on social media, posting, "Heartbreaking. Once again, a community is shattered by senseless gun violence. Our hearts are with the children, their families, and everyone impacted by this horrific tragedy. To the survivors of gun violence, you are never alone. California stands with you." Well, the school shooting is just the latest tragedy to strike Butte County.
Yeah, the Butte County Sheriff Corey Honey has led his community through destructive wildfires. He said this one hits especially hard.
Many of you have been to Butte County before to cover major incidents, major disasters. So we're certainly no stranger to those kinds of things. But man, when you're talking about little kids like this who can't defend themselves, it really does tear at the heart.
We are continuing to follow the developments in the school shooting on our KCRA3 app, which is free. You can also enable push alerts for the latest updates.